If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, please take a few minutes for this message. It might not just change your morning. It could save the precious years you still have ahead. Because stroke doesn't knock before it enters. It comes quietly, like an uninvited guest. 1 minute you're fine, smiling. The next, your limbs don't respond. Your words slur. And sometimes, your memories slip away. As a neurologist, I've witnessed too many people, fathers, mothers, grandparents, come into the hospital in silence, simply because of one small morning habit they didn't know was dangerous. None of us want to grow old afraid. We just want to live peacefully, clearly, surrounded by those we love. And the truth is, many strokes can be prevented. No miracles needed. Just by knowing and changing the little things we do each morning. In this video, I'll share with you 9 everyday habits that quietly increase stroke risk and the early warning signs you must never ignore. Because if you can catch them in time, you get another day to live well, to laugh, to hug your grandchildren, to love life. Please stay with me until the end, because I believe your heart and your brain deserve to be protected. Don't hold your pee after waking up. Have you ever woken up in the morning, stayed in bed, feeling too lazy to get up even though you really needed to pee? I know, it sounds pretty harmless, right? Just a few extra minutes lying there, scrolling through the news, checking your phone, then maybe heading to the bathroom. But here's the thing. For people in their 50s, 60s, or older, those few extra minutes can actually be a silent trap. I'll never forget one of my patients, Mr. George, 71 years old. One morning, he woke up but didn't get out of bed right away. He spent about 20 minutes reading the news on his iPad, and then finally got up to go pee. But right at that moment, he collapsed to the floor and lost consciousness. The stroke hit him in the bathroom. We managed to save him, but it left him with partial paralysis on his right side. Do you know what happened? When you hold your pee for too long in the morning, your bladder fills up and puts pressure on the sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that reacts as if you're in danger. In response, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones raise your blood pressure, constrict your blood vessels, and make your heart beat faster. Now, if you're young, your body can usually handle that. But as you get older, when your blood vessels aren't as flexible, and maybe you have some plaque buildup, that kind of stress response can be like a bomb going off in your circulatory system. You don't see it. You don't feel it. But it's happening. And in the morning, when your blood pressure is already naturally higher, sometimes all it takes is one more trigger, and the stroke hits. Suddenly, without warning. I know, it might sound strange, but in medicine, we call it the morning surge, a sharp rise in blood pressure early in the day. It's one of the top causes of early morning strokes. And here's the ironic part. Something as simple as getting up to pee just a few minutes earlier can make a huge difference in reducing that risk. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, I want you to do one simple thing. Don't stay in bed too long. Don't let your phone distract you from what your body is trying to tell you. Get up and let your body release what it needs to, right on time. Because sometimes, protecting your health isn't about doing something big. It's about listening to a very small, very human signal. Have you ever ignored that signal? If you have, maybe today's the perfect day to start listening again. Don't let coffee become a double-edged sword. I'm just like you. I love coffee. That feeling of holding a warm cup in the morning, taking a deep breath, sipping slowly. It's like the whole world slows down for a moment so we can breathe, so we can live. But you know what? In over 30 years of working with older adults, I've seen coffee turn into a double-edged sword, especially when it's consumed at the wrong time. A lot of my patients, from Mr. Tom, 65, to Ms. Linda, 73, all started their mornings the same way. They'd wake up, skip breakfast, and go straight for a big cup of coffee. Sometimes 2 or 3 cups, all within an hour. They thought it helped them wake up and get their engines running. But the truth is it made their hearts race, too fast, too strong, while their brains weren't even ready. You see, when you drink coffee on an empty stomach, caffeine gets absorbed almost instantly. It kicks your adrenal glands into gear, spikes your adrenaline, narrows your blood vessels, speeds up your heartbeat, and most importantly, It shoots your blood pressure way up. If you're young, maybe that just feels like a jittery buzz. But past 60, it could hit your already fragile arteries like a punch, triggering a blood vessel spasm in the brain or throwing your heart rhythm off balance. And when you add 2 spoonfuls of sugar, a splash of heavy cream, you're not just stressing your blood vessels. You're feeding inflammation and high cholesterol, the quiet thieves of clarity and vitality in old age. I'm not saying you have to give up coffee. I still drink a cup every morning, but I do it after I've had something small, maybe some oats, a few slices of apple, or a boiled egg. I give my body a solid base before adding stimulation. I sip it slowly, not just to wake up, but to feel grateful that I have another morning to enjoy. You see, coffee isn't the enemy. The real issue is how we use it, as a whip instead of a gift. Your body doesn't need to be jolted awake with a lightning bolt. It needs gentleness, a little water, a little food, then the coffee. So tomorrow morning, if you're reaching for your first cup, pause for a minute. Ask yourself, am I using this coffee to support myself, or am I unknowingly pushing myself over the edge? You deserve a peaceful morning, and a steady heart, a clear mind, not because they've been forced into action, but because they've been cared for the right way. A wrong breakfast, a heavy burden on the aging brain. I've seen this same story play out hundreds of times. My patients, grandpas, grandmas, even people just past 50, walk into my clinic with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and memory that's starting to slip. And almost all of them say the same thing. I think I eat okay, document. I just have a light breakfast, maybe some bread, a sausage, or an instant porridge pack. Some days I'm too busy, so I skip it. I don't blame them. Modern life makes us value convenience over health. But breakfast, for younger people, it might be optional. For older adults, though, it's a non-negotiable meeting with the brain. You see, after a long night, your brain is running low on energy. Blood sugar is low, and your blood gets thicker from overnight dehydration. If you skip breakfast, you're asking your brain to keep going with no fuel. And if your breakfast is full of processed, salty foods like sausages, cheese, instant porridge, or packaged bread, it's even worse. These types of foods are loaded with sodium, way more than your body should handle in one meal. Sodium spikes your blood pressure, stiffens your arteries, and slowly damages the tiny blood vessels in your brain. This is one of the leading causes of sudden strokes in older adults, all from a poorly chosen breakfast. So I teach my patients a simple rule. If you can't read the first 3 ingredients on the label, don't put it in your body. So what should breakfast look like? It doesn't have to be fancy. Just 3 things. Low in salt. Has fiber. Not from a package. A boiled egg. A slice of whole grain bread with some butter or avocado. A few slices of banana or apple. That's enough. It's gentle on your stomach and gives your brain and blood vessels the nourishment they need to last. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because you deserve a better start to your day. Breakfast isn't something to just get over with. It's the first gift you give your body for a long and healthy life as you age. So tomorrow morning, if you're reaching for a pack of instant noodles or a slice of fried sausage, I hope you pause for 10 seconds and ask yourself, is this helping me stay healthy or making me age faster? The answer, you already know it better than anyone. Working out too hard too early. Your body's still asleep, but you're forcing it to run. I love moving in the morning. It keeps my heart strong, my mind clear, and my joints from getting rusty with age. But you know what? I've made mistakes too. When I first retired, I thought I needed to shake up my routine. So every morning at 5 a.m., I jump out of bed, lace up my shoes, and push myself to the limit at the park. I thought I was doing something good, but after a few weeks, I started feeling dizzy after every run. Sometimes my hands would tremble, and my heart would race irregularly, and I began to wonder, am I helping my body, or forcing it to do something it's not ready for? Here's the truth. After a long night of sleep, your body isn't fully awake yet. Your heart rate is still slow. Your blood pressure is low. Your blood is moving more sluggishly than usual. And especially for people over 60, your blood vessels aren't as flexible as they used to be. If you hit the ground running too hard, too soon, You're asking your heart to pump faster and harder, while your blood vessels are still stiff and tight. That's a recipe for a stroke. I once treated a 67-year-old man, totally healthy, no medical history. But he lifted weights right after waking up. His blood pressure dropped suddenly. He fainted and hit his head, followed by a minor stroke. Not because he did anything wrong, but because he rushed. So if you love exercise, I fully support you. But remember, it's not about pushing hard. It's about choosing the right time. The solution is simple. After waking up, stay in bed for a minute or two. Breathe deeply. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Drink a glass of warm water. Do a few gentle stretches. Roll your neck. Reach your arms. Tilt your torso side to side. After 5 to 10 minutes, when your body is truly awake, go ahead. Walk, bike, do yoga, whatever you like. But don't force your aging body to jump out of bed and sprint. It's not a race car anymore, like it was 30 years ago. Now it's a classic car. It needs time to warm up, patience, and care. So tomorrow morning, before you start your workout, pause for a minute. Not to delay, but to ask your body, hey, are you ready? Because you don't need to win a medal this morning. You just need one more safe day to live fully. Don't ignore a morning dizzy spell. There's a phrase I've heard countless times over the decades in this profession. It was just a little dizziness, document probably because I didn't sleep well. Or, my hand felt a bit weak this morning, but it went away after a while, so I didn't worry. And sadly, those very same words, weeks or months later, turn into a fall, a stroke, or a trip to the emergency room, something that could have been prevented. You see, the human body always gives warnings. We just don't always listen. If in the morning you feel dizzy when sitting up, numbness or weakness on one side of your body, a slight droop in your face, slurred speech or trouble speaking, temporary loss of balance, please don't brush it off by saying, maybe I slept funny, probably just tired. Because it might not be normal fatigue. It might be a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or what many call a mini-stroke. It can last just a few minutes, then vanish, and because it goes away, most people ignore it. But I don't, because I know this fact. 1 in 3 people who have a mini-stroke and don't get treatment will suffer a major stroke within the next year. Morning is when the brain is most vulnerable. Blood pressure rises, and your body shifts from rest to activity. If your arteries are already weakened or have plaque buildup, it only takes a tiny clot to block a vessel in seconds. And if you ignore the warning signs, you're gambling with your future. So what should you do? If you feel dizzy, numb, weak, or notice facial drooping, don't try to stand up. Call a loved one. Sip some water. Lie on your side. Stay calm. Call your doctor right away. Don't wait for it to go away. Because next time, it might come back, but not so gently. Your body doesn't scream. It whispers. And it's your responsibility to hear those whispers. So tomorrow morning, if you feel a bit unsteady getting out of bed, please don't ignore it. Every strange sign is a message from your body. And a wise person opens that letter, reads it carefully, and responds with action. Skipping water in the morning. Your brain is crying for help. You know, while you sleep for 8 hours, your body loses about half a liter of water, just through breathing and sweating. We don't see it happening, but it does, quietly, every night, every morning. So when you wake up, your blood is already thicker, your circulation is slower, and your brain is thirstier than ever. But here's the ironic part. Instead of drinking water, most people go for a cup of coffee, a strong black tea, or worse, nothing at all. I once asked a patient, "What did you drink first thing this morning?" And she said, "Black coffee, no sugar. Helps me feel awake." Awake? Do you know what's actually happening in your brain when you skip that first glass of water? Thicker blood, slower flow, less oxygen to the brain, body raises blood pressure to compensate. That's a perfect recipe for brain fog, morning dizziness, and for older adults, even stroke. I'm not exaggerating. Many studies have shown morning dehydration is a common trigger for silent strokes, the kind that don't knock you down right away, but slowly chip away at your memory over the years. So what should you do? Right after waking up, before breakfast, before coffee. Drink a glass of warm water. No ice. No lemon. No tea. Just water, simple, clean, and the first gift you give your brain each day. I do this every morning, like a little ritual to tell my body, I still care about you. You might forget your pills, your phone, your meeting schedule, but don't forget your water. You won't feel the impact today, but in 10 years, your memory, your heart, will thank you for that small glass. Let water be your first good morning to aging, gentle and mindful. So tomorrow morning, pick up that glass, lift it to your lips, and say, "Good morning, brain. I'm still here, taking care of you." Morning anger, afternoon emergency. We've all had a rough morning before. You wake up, check your phone, and there's bad news. Your child says something that irritates you. Your partner makes one offhand comment, and you snap. Or sometimes, you haven't even done anything yet, but your mind is already anxious, already frustrated, over something that hasn't even happened. Sound familiar? I've been there too. I'd wake up and turn on the TV, war, disease, accidents. Then, as I brushed my teeth, I'd think about bills, my health, the unfinished to-do list. And I'd wonder, why is my heart racing when I haven't done a thing? Why do I feel tight-chested, short of breath, just 10 minutes after waking up? You see, as we get older, the brain becomes more sensitive to emotions. When you get angry, anxious, or stressed, your body instantly releases cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that raise your blood pressure and constrict your blood vessels. And if your vessels are already stiff or narrowed with plaque, a burst of anger at 6 a.m. can become the reason for a stroke at 10 a.m. I once treated a 63-year-old man. He had just argued with his son over family matters. He bottled it up and collapsed in the bathroom. His stroke didn't come from genetics. It came from anger, too early, too intense. The solution? It's not complicated. Don't start your day with bad news. Don't scroll through toxic comments on Facebook. And if something's bothering you, write it down, then leave it there. Don't carry it around all day like a weight on your back. Instead, listen to a gentle piece of music. Take 5 deep breaths. Or write down 3 things you're grateful for this morning. I do this every day, and you know what? No one can feel deeply grateful and furious at the same time. You can't control the world outside, but you can choose how your morning begins. So tomorrow, when you wake up, before you react, before you read the news, I hope you pause for just 1 minute and ask yourself, do I want to start this day in fear or in peace? That answer could protect your heart, your brain, and the people you love most. One missed pill, a life never the same again. In over 30 years of caring for older adults, I've seen one thing happen again and again. It's not because they didn't have the medication. It's not because they didn't understand their illness. It's because they forgot. One small forgotten pill. But the consequences can be anything but small. I had a patient named Elaine, 68 years old. One morning, she forgot to take her blood pressure medication. That afternoon, while sitting in her kitchen, she felt dizzy, her vision blurred, and she passed out. It was a minor stroke, caused by a sudden spike in blood pressure that went unchecked. You see, medications like blood pressure meds, blood thinners, cholesterol meds, anti-inflammatories aren't meant to be taken when you remember. They have to be taken on time, every time, because your body, especially your blood vessels and your brain, follows a biological rhythm. And when you disrupt that rhythm, blood doesn't flow as smoothly. Pressure builds. That's when clots form, plaques can rupture, and strokes can happen. So here's my advice. Simple, but it only works if you do it consistently. Use a weekly pill organizer, clearly divided into morning, noon, and night. Set an alarm or reminder on your phone. Don't rely on memory. And most importantly, never stop or change your medication on your own, even if you feel better. I know there'll be days you're tired, forgetful, or just think, it's fine to skip today. But ask yourself this. If someone broke into your house last night, would you go to bed tonight without locking the door? That morning pill is your lock. It protects your blood vessels, your heart, your memory. You can live without remembering what day it is. But please, Don't live without remembering if you took your medication, because one day you might not get a second chance to remember. So tomorrow morning, when you pick up your glass of water, I hope you also pick up that little pill. As a quiet promise to yourself, I choose to protect my future, not gamble with it over one moment of forgetfulness. Getting up too fast. Your brain hasn't woken up, but you're forcing it to run. Every morning, we all wake up, but not everyone wakes up the right way. One of my patients once told me, yesterday morning, I jumped out of bed like usual, and suddenly the room was spinning. I couldn't even make it to the bathroom before I had to sit down. My heart was pounding, and my face turned pale. This kind of story is all too common after age 50, because after a long night of sleep, your body is in a resting state. Low blood pressure, slow heart rate, sluggish circulation, brain still low on oxygen. And if you jump up too quickly, you're forcing your heart to suddenly pump harder, while your blood vessels are still stiff and your blood is thick from overnight dehydration. The result? Dizziness, falling, or worse, a temporary brain ischemia, a mini-stroke that often happens in the early morning. The solution is incredibly simple, but it takes just 1 minute of patience. When you first open your eyes, don't sit up right away. Stay still for 1 to 2 minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. Gently rotate your wrists and ankles. Stretch slowly. Then turn to your side. Press your hand into the bed and sit up gradually. Only then, place your feet on the floor. You don't need to rush. The day doesn't truly begin until your brain is fully ready. I still do this every single morning, not because I'm weak, but because I know. Spending 1 quiet minute keeping my balance helps protect everything I still want to enjoy in the years ahead. Falling from dizziness isn't the scariest part. What comes after the fall? Losing your memory, your speech, your ability to move. That's what matters. And all of it could start from simply getting up too fast. So tomorrow morning, before you leap out of bed to make breakfast, get the grandkids ready, or check your phone, pause. Give yourself 60 quiet seconds. Breathe slowly. Thank your body. Be grateful for another night survived. Then stand up, calmly and fully aware. A new day shouldn't start with speed, but with gratitude.